Let me set the context. We are delighted to be here in Mongolia, to be a partner of Mongolian society and the Mongolian government with the TRQ shareholders and Rio Tinto shareholders to invest in Oyu Tolgoi. Oyu Tolgoi is one of the best deposits in the world. We already have, as you know, an open-cut mining operation, which is very successful. Our employees are doing an absolute top job in operating the mine in a very safe way, in a very productive way. And we are also investing in a very important project, which is the underground project. It's a very complex project. We have invested so far $7.5 billion, and we are potentially going to invest another $5 billion, which is $1 billion per year. It's very important for all the shareholders and for the country because 80% of the value of Oyu Tolgoi is underground. And it's very deep underground, 1.3 kilometers deep.
1.3 kilometers.
1.3 kilometers deep. So it's very difficult to design and to construct the mine, and there is a lot of good work which is being done currently by our 14,000 employees. 94% of our employees are from Mongolia. So
90?
94.
I want to make it clear. 94%.
94%.
Of all the employees of Oyu Tolgoi are Mongolians.
Are Mongolians,
yes.
Exactly. If you look at our engineers and managers and supervisors, 75% of these leadership positions are occupied by Mongolians. And when you think of it, it's within a very short period of time. So this is remarkable. So to come back to your question, the key for us to be able to continue investing is to be able to have an environment which is supportive of this investment. As you've seen in the past, sometimes, unfortunately, OT has been used as a bit of a political football.
Yes.
And I think we collectively need to be extremely careful because there is a lot of misinformation which is being shared. And the reality is the agreements that we have signed are world-class agreements, and they provide a lot of economic benefit to Mongolia. With 34% of the shares, the Mongolian government is going to get more than 50% of the economic benefits. And therefore, it's important that collectively we work together to better explain. We have a role to play, but others have got a role to play also to better explain how good this investment is for the people of Mongolia. So this environment requires a stable environment for us to be able to continue investing. And this stability is provided by the agreements that we signed, the investment agreement, the ARSHA, the UDP agreements, and all of those agreements are the foundation onto which we can continue to invest and continue to build what is going to become the third biggest copper mine in the world. So my experience in the past in other countries that have worked, I've seen that this condition of good clarity, good stability, sanctity of agreements is actually a necessary condition for continuing to attract investments. And so it's important that we keep this. The second point is about...
So the first one is basically stability. From the government part, from the investment policy part.
Exactly. Stability, predictability. You see,
yes.
Overall, we can invest with TRQ, we can invest up to $12 billion. This is a huge investment. This is a very complex project, big project, and in order to be able to invest $12 billion, you need to have predictability And those agreements that we have signed offer that predictability. So the key is stability and respect of the sanctity of the agreements. Okay? The second point is about the rule of law. It's very important wherever we operate to operate in a country which recognizes the rule of law and which is honoring it, and because again it gives good predictability.
Yes.
and the third aspect is about partnership. Those projects are very complex projects, and in the past what I've seen is it's only by having a true partnership in a spirit of genuinely looking for win-wins, where we've got a partnership between the government, the company, and civil society, the public. When we have this partnership working together, this is when we've got the best chance of delivering a very complex and substantial project. So I've got good hopes, and it's even beyond hopes. I think also it's a question of responsibility. I think we collectively have the responsibility of doing the very best we can for all the shareholders, and all the people of Mongolia are shareholders through the government of OT, and it's important that we work together to be able to create the right environment so that we can continue to invest.
Continue to invest, right. And you were mentioning about Chilean experience that Rio Tinto did with a Chilean mining company, and how can we adopt those kind of mechanisms into Mongolian economy?
Yes. And what I described in my speech about the experience in Chile is exactly a good example of what we've just discussed. In the past, when Chile became a democracy, Chile was a very long, big country with a very small population, a small economy, yet they decided to open their economy to private investments, to be able to supplement the investment that were done already by Codelco, to be able to create more mines and therefore create more wealth for the country. And what Chile did extremely well is they developed the legal framework and they negotiated agreements with private companies, foreign companies, exactly the same way as we've done in Mongolia, where they enabled those companies to invest, and they gave a very, very long stability. Those agreements were honored and gave a stability for 30 years. After 30 years, it was renegotiated, and it gave stability again for a long time. So what we've discussed together about stability, predictability, sanctity of agreements, partnership, rule of law, Chile is a great example of how, by applying this, the country has become the biggest producer of copper in the world and has been one of the most dynamic growing economy in South America. And the reason why I chose this example to talk today at the Mongolia Economic Forum is because I think it may be a source of inspiration. It could help people in Mongolia understand if we work together as a partner, here are the opportunities, and we can work together for the greater good of the country.
So we could have some kind of vision. Okay, yes, we could be like that in the future.
And it's not theoretical, it's practical. It has worked incredibly well in Chile. Maybe there are something which can be a source of inspiration.
Okay, so when you were beginning in Chile, did you have same problems, like same challenges that you guys are facing in Mongolia?
You know, the challenges we've got those type of challenges anywhere in the world. Okay, it's the bread and butter of mining, and as such, I think what is important is to go beyond the difficulties and to develop a relation of trust and respect, and to be able to work together to resolve potential difficulties. Ultimately, in Mongolia, what is at stake is the ability to continue investing in Oyu Tolgoi and to make what will become potentially the third biggest copper mine in the world. And the underground project, if we've got the right environment to continue to invest, the underground project will start bringing copper at a time when we think the price of copper is going to go up. So this is in some ways a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You know, commodities go up and down. It's very difficult to predict, but in the industry, people see actually the price of copper increasing in the coming years because of a very healthy demand and not enough supply. So we think that around 2020, 2021, the market will become undersupplied, and therefore it will be supporting a higher price for copper. This is really important that we don't miss that opportunity.
Yes, since we started talking about copper, what are our technological possibilities to make final product in the processing copper sector?
Yeah.
Technologically?
Yes, so technologically it's feasible. The challenge is whether it's economically feasible. And in a country like Mongolia, which is landlocked, it's very difficult to find a project to make copper cathodes that will be economically viable. We did a study for the government, which was part of our investment agreement commitment, so we honored this commitment, and we did a study that showed if the government and other investors were interested in investing in a smelter, this is how it could be done, but the economics don't really stack up. The key, I think, is to do first things first. Okay? First of all, what is really important is that we successfully develop the mine. This is a huge
base of
exactly.
that base of the future.
A huge challenge, a big opportunity for the country, and I think we can collectively create a lot of wealth by fully developing the mine. Then diversification can come at a later stage. In Chile, they didn't start diversification straight away. First, they developed mini mines, and then they became very good at it, and then eventually they started to go downstream wherever it made economic sense.
Well, my last question. Let's talk about what kind of technologies we can develop so that we can compete in the global stage. Aluminum, yes, copper, yes, those kind of minerals.
Yes. So maybe let me take an example in aluminium, because I think it's a great example of what very good partnerships that are based on trust and respect and that are based on sound agreements that are honored and respected, how that can create a lot of value for the country. So we have been operating in Canada, making aluminium for more than 100 years. Throughout this time, we have developed very strong partnerships with the local government of Quebec, the federal government of Canada, the local community where we operate, and with suppliers. So we have had a policy of promoting the development of local procurement. That's exactly what we're doing currently in Mongolia. We are promoting to be able to use as many Mongolian suppliers as possible. 85% of all the procurement, so all the buying that we're doing is actually coming from Mongolia. And so that's what we did also in Canada. We developed strong partnerships as well, so that progressively we became more and more sophisticated in the technology that we developed. And the latest announcement that we made last week is a great example of how progressively you can go into more and more research and development and very complex and innovative technology that can create significant value. So we announced last week that we have entered into a partnership with the government of Quebec, the federal government of Canada, a major customer, which is Apple, and a partner, another smelting company called Alcoa. And together we are developing a brand new technology which is groundbreaking. This is pioneering. This is a technology where we will be using an anode, which is in the process of smelting, that is not going to be consumed anymore, and it's not going to emit any greenhouse gas emission. It will actually emit oxygen, and this is what we call inert anode. And by doing so, we are going to create a process in smelting which is going to be significantly cleaner than anything that is existing in the world today. Many of the people in the industry, in aluminium, would thought it would be possible. And through good partnership, we've been able actually to break the code and to find a very innovative way of pioneering and creating the smelting of the future.
So, which means future, right?
Yes.
Well, thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much for your time, and thanks a lot for your great questions.
Thank you.
My pleasure meeting you. All the best.
For the best.
Okay.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.